Alright, I'm gonna do a quick recording here, just for the first 2-3 levels. I just finished one recording that was just a single level, but that was really only like 2 minutes long. The levels in this game are super fast, so I kind of want to do something that was a little bit longer time, just to make sure that everything is kind of consistent as far as audio goes. Everything sounded pretty decent in the last recording, so this shouldn't be a very big deal, but let's get this guy from coming through the door. Just to make sure everything's working on basically on a more long form, because each one of these levels, at least at the beginning, is maybe a 2-minute run, maybe 3, depending on how often you die. As the game progresses, of course, like every other game, is going to take longer and longer to complete levels, but I'm just going to skip all the plot in this game, because there actually really is none, as much as they try to convince you otherwise. The plot in this game is kind of not really all there, but that's cool. I mean, just really not trying to be anything more than just what it is, which is just a super fast, violent game. But, you need more games like that. It doesn't purport to be Skyrim or some shit like that. It's not trying to really tell you a story as much as just get in your face with like some crazy quick, bloody ass gameplay. And sometimes you really need that. You look at games like, most people don't bitch about, oh, there's too much story in games now, but like, look at Grand Theft Auto. Like, that game used to be blamed for people shooting up schools, and now it's got like story and characters and all this shit. It's like, I don't even have time for that. Like, I'm really just trying to punch these like bald dudes. Beat the shit out of that guy with a lead pipe. For those of you who haven't played this game, first of all, I'd like to say I'm doing insanely well, not getting killed here. The idea, more or less, is enter a location, kill all the enemies, and leave. It's about it. When you start, you pick from different masks. Each mask will give you a different perk, I guess you'd say, different little gameplay thing depending on what it is. It could be move faster, you can survive a bullet. The one I tend to go with is the Tiger Mask Tony, which allows you to kill enemies with a punch. Usually it'll just, if you punch an enemy, it'll knock them out and you have to execute them. Which takes a lot of time. And as I'm sure you noticed from the first level, speed is really an essential part of gameplay. Anything can kill you in this game. A single hit, a single bullet, any type of contact basically will kill you instantly. Luckily, you have the ability to reload incredibly fast just by pressing a single button, so it keeps the gameplay from getting too repetitive. I would say too grindy, but that's kind of the point of the game, is just grinding these levels over and over until you get a good feel for whatever pattern you're gonna kind of utilize. Fuck. But even then, you can always get tripped up by some like bad RNG. The doors have a tendency to really fuck up runs. Sometimes they'll absorb bullets, sometimes they won't. And the other frustrating thing, is that enemies don't always react the same way. As you saw right there, as soon as I fired that gun, all these enemies just flooded into this main hallway. Sometimes that won't happen. So it's kind of hard to predict where enemies are going to go at any given time. Having enemies run at you isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, because just like you, the enemies also die in one hit. But if you have a group of enemies flooding towards you and you're not really prepared for it, it can be incredibly dangerous, like in that kind of case. Controls as well, not great, to be fair. They work, they're super arcadey and quick, but they're not necessarily built for finesse, I guess you'd say. So it can make it kind of hard when you're kind of trying to like juke out your enemies or something, trying to dodge bullets basically. It's not set up for that. There, I just ran out of ammo like a dumbass because I don't know how to count to 20. This gameplay is not incredibly good. This gameplay, specifically mine, is not going to be incredibly impressive. Because I haven't really routed any of this. I haven't really prepared for this recording session at all. aside from basically plugging in a microphone and saying let's do it. Again, it's kind of more for just making sure all the levels are working and the actual recording quality is there, at least to some extent. Which, of course, makes this really thrilling and worth watching, but whatever. Alright, yep, that door just fucking ate 2 of my bullets, that was great. Alright, there we go, sweet. Go on to the next level. That went incredibly well for me, actually. Oh shit, never mind. That's the other kind of irritating thing, is when you get a group of people in like a close quarters like that, it's hard to tell who's actually dead and who's just kind of like incapacitated, knocked out on the floor, because the enemies will stand back up and grab whatever weapon's nearest to them. So if you knock a dude out and then kill a guy with a gun right on top of him, he's gonna get up and grab that gun and shoot you in the back, which is super frustrating, especially when you get right around to like the last guy in a room. Generally this is when it says go to car, that would be the end of the level. But I'm gonna grab a shotgun here because, spoiler alert, there's a boss fight right there. You just have to shoot this guy 3 times with the shotgun, which is actually way harder than it sounds. But luckily I knew that was coming, so I managed to grab that shotgun. If you don't prepare for that, it's actually incredibly difficult. Alright, take this girl back to your house for some reason. Again, the plot, not really there. So this girl, like, becomes your girlfriend, and then, you know, you're supposed to feel some sort of, like, affinity for her, even though her only lines are whatever the fuck she just said. Don't shoot me in the face, please, or go ahead and shoot me in the face, whatever she just said. But it's one of those things where you're expected to care about her because she's your girlfriend, not because she's a character in any way. But to do the snobby over-analysis is kind of part of the meta story here, I guess, is that this whole thing is supposed to be very grindhouse, very surface, basically satire of like 80s action movies and 80s drug culture in general, I guess. Where you're given a main character and he's doing all this fucked up shit, and you're just kind of given these instructions, you just kind of do it, and you don't really question his motivations. And in that same sort of vein, you're given this girl and basically told, this is your girlfriend now, and you kind of, as the audience or as the player, kind of just like, okay, I'm going to accept that because that's what the writer intended me to do. I'm going to take a different mask here, just because, for the fuck of it, more or less. Let's go more gore just for entertainment value, I guess. So not having... I almost always play, like I said, with the Tony mask, which gives killing punches. So this is actually going to probably be a clusterfuck, since now my punches are not going to kill enemies, they're just going to incapacitate them. And my punches aren't going to kill dogs anymore. Dogs are actually an incredibly difficult enemy to deal with. You can either shoot them or hit them with a melee weapon. Punching them does nothing unless you have the Tony mask, and they move super quickly. And their pathing tends to be odd. I don't think that's a feature, I think that's just kind of how it worked out when during programming or whatever. Fuck me, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna not go in that room now. Fuck, well that worked out for me. I haven't played this level in ages, I actually despise this level, but I figure I'm already playing it, why not? But yeah, for some reason the pathing on dogs is actually like a huge fucking pain in the ass. I just used that door to kick those guys' ass. Alright. That door just won fucking MVP of the year right there. Okay, great. I got jumped by the dog anyway. I forgot what the fuck I was talking about, to be entirely honest. This game is one of those games where you, as much as you'd like to focus on talking or anything else, it really sucks you in, and you'll wind up spending hours just grinding the same fucking room hoping you don't get shot in the head. Much like that. I have to say the soundtrack in this game is arguably one of the best in any game ever. My basis for saying that really is the fact that I noticed the soundtrack. There's some games with purportedly super great soundtracks. Skyrim, for example, is the second time I mentioned fucking Skyrim today. But like everyone went on and on about Skyrim's fucking soundtrack when it first came out, how good Skyrim's soundtrack was, this and that. Maybe it was great, I didn't notice it. So my basic criteria for good soundtrack is if I notice it, and I notice this one very, very much. It's great. It plays perfectly along with the quick gameplay, with the kind of spacey, like I said, kind of sort of weirdly druggy atmosphere of the game. And it actually, in a weird way, the fact that it gets super fucking frustrating and grindy after you hear the same song 18 times sort of plays to the theme, because the game as well gets super fucking grindy after a while. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Pop in here, get that guy. It's hard to tell, or it took me a while to figure out at least. Those blue panes on the right are actually windows. I guess maybe it's an 80s thing to just have windows inside your house into other rooms of your house. But that took me way longer than it probably should have when I first started playing this game to get accustomed to that. There's certain levels where that is so fucking prevalent. I probably should have looked and seen how many enemies there were in that room before I did that. But I'm gonna try it again just because I'm stubborn. Oh, it didn't work either. Like I said, doors are fucking annoying. That door just kind of fucked me on that. Doors have a tendency to eat bullets. And they have a tendency to... I shouldn't even say a tendency, because it's not that frequent, but every once in a while, whenever it's going to annoy you most, the door will fail to hit your enemy and actually knock him out, and the door will just kind of phase through him. So when he winds up next to you, and generally when you're running through a door, you're going to have forward momentum going on. Fuck. Okay, I recovered that quickly. You're going to have some sort of forward momentum going. Here's a... Spoiler alert, that's going to be loud, sorry. So it makes it incredibly difficult to kind of deal with situations when the gameplay doesn't really work in your favor, but that's cool. If you're playing a game to not frustrate you, this is not the game, so you kind of have to take it as it comes and kind of deal with the fact that it kind of will try to fuck you every once in a while. That's something you're going to have to live with, I guess. It's going to be loud again, sorry. I'm curious as to how loud this is gonna come across in recording. It's probably gonna be blisteringly awful, so sorry. Wow, that was a good shot on that guy's part. The first time I played this game, I spent hours in this room trying to kill that guy that keeps killing me. It's one of those things that you can actually see him through the wall. They're laying down. That's what that animation's supposed to represent. So if I just like shoot him from a corner here, I'm not gonna hit them. The shots are actually gonna go over their heads. I'm gonna try and do this now. So you kind of have to like sneak in at the correct angle where they'll see you and stand up to like engage you, but they won't be able to hit you. Maybe I could dip in and dip out really quick. Let's try that. Oh, he goes to laying back down. Damn. Shifty fuck. Alright, I got that, dude. Come on. Alright, there we go. That's that. As the game progresses, of course, like every other game, the levels are going to get progressively more difficult, but actually, I'm really, really happy with the level design in this game. You think a kind of game like this where it's just, oh, go into a room, kill guys, rinse, repeat, more or less, because the gameplay doesn't change all that much throughout the first 75% of this game. You'd think it would get kind of samey, but it really doesn't. They did a really good job at designing levels to keep mixing it up. So there's some levels where, I mean, as you saw in those past few chapters, some levels that are just incredibly, like, tight quarters, just a lot of, like, quick hits, just really trying hard not to get your shit pushed in. And then there's some levels that are a little bit slower, a little more methodical. There's some levels, I don't want to say long range, but you kind of engage enemies at a bit of a distance. Guns, I mean, at this point, by the 5th chapter, guns are basically everywhere. But throughout the first couple chapters, they get more and more prevalent over time. Start with a knife, I guess. This is actually basically more or less just as good as the one-hit kill punches. it's one of those balance things where this actually, if I'm not mistaken, might actually have a longer range than a punch, and you can throw the knife, which is great, but as soon as you throw it, you're basically, it gets stuck in them or whatever, so you can't really pull it back out. So I tend to prefer the punches just because you'll never run out of them, and more importantly, you can carry a gun as well while you have the mask on, so you can toss your gun basically and then use your punches if you need to. But again, I just want to switch it up because I'm not good enough to have a skill run here, and just make a good excuse for using the same thing, so I might as well use something I'm not totally comfortable with for entertainment value. I should have seen that coming, but the thing about this game, it has there's a similar quality to a lot of arcade games where over time you think that you would start to learn the patterns and things like that, but the frustration starts to sink in a little bit, and you can actually sort of feel your skill degrading. And that's kind of compounded with the fact that I'm trying to keep talking and trying not to ramble too much, which I'm not doing incredibly well at, but that's neither here nor there really. But it's really kind of tough. Magnum is the worst gun. It's really kind of tough to consistently perform at a high level when you're running the same several rooms over and over, if that makes sense. I was gonna clock that guy, shoot that guy, shoot that guy. Oh shit! That's what I was telling you about those doors. Alright, great. I got fucked there. That's fine. Let's grab the samurai sword. Wow, I don't know how that guy hit me, but that's cool. A lot of these weapons, first of all, a lot of these weapons are unlocks that you get through completing other levels. And a lot of them honestly suck. These glass bottles suck. But there's something so fun about just pegging a dude in the head with a glass bottle when it works. Same with there's a brick that you can do, which is more or less the same thing as a throwing weapon. And when you just clobber a guy from like across a room with a glass bottle. Oh shit, I've never seen that execution. That's gross. But when you just hit a dude from like 30 feet away with a brick and his head explodes, there's something really cathartic about that, I guess. As kind of fucked up as that is to admit, but anyone who's playing a game like this, you have to be able to laugh at a little bit of ultra violence, I guess. It's also incredible how such an arcadey sort of old school graphic style they get across like the worst violence. The fact that you can see brain chunks and shit, like, it's pretty fucking gross, but again, it all plays to the theme. It's not totally for its own sake, I guess. Maybe I'm just trying to convince myself it's not to seem like less of a psychopath, but you know, whatever. Machete's not a bad choice, but I think I'm gonna go assault rifle. It's always a good idea to enter the next stage, first of all with a weapon, but especially with a gun. The two best guns are, well, the best gun without question is the assault shotgun, as I like to call it, the 6-shot shotgun that dude just killed me with. Next down the line arguably is the assault rifle. The shotgun is just better because it has a better spread, obviously. The assault rifle fires quicker and is more accurate theoretically, but there's never, I shouldn't say never, but 99% of the time you're not going for accuracy anyway. This game is so built around spray and pray as far as gun gameplay goes. Here's a hammer. I'm pretty sure it's a throwing weapon. I don't think I've ever used it. Let's see if I can kill somebody with this, even though, again, throwing weapons suck, but how awesome was that until I got shot in the face? Like, that was pretty sick. Killing a guy pissing, shoot that guy, shoot this dude. This is one of those levels where invariably, I guess, you're going to have these dudes just fucking bum rushing you. There's only so much you can do about it, and yes, I'm aware that that guy's still alive. And I wasn't aware that that guy was still alive, though, so that didn't work well. Yeah, you see that dude just fucking wig out, like the pathing's kinda shitty sometimes. But, you know, there's only so much you can do about it. But especially in the later levels, you'll find yourself sometimes just shooting into a wall, like trying to get a dude's attention, and he's just standing there. And it happens a lot, especially with guys who are in these kind of like static states, like this guy pissing, that guy sitting there, guy smoking a cigarette, like those types of animations where they're just kind of like chilling out. doesn't always, but sometimes it takes a lot to break him out of that animation, to the point where I could kill that dude and that guy probably won't get up off the couch. I should also probably stop gesturing with my cursor when I'm trying to actually aim a gun with it. Wow, what the fuck? That dude was seriously concentrating on taking that piss. Alright, there we go. Alright, that awful hitbox is starting to get on my fucking left nut. There we go. Alright, this is what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to play this semi-smart. I'm gonna toss that back there. Go over here, shoot this dude. Get shot in the face. Fuck me, God. Alright, try that again. Put the assault rifle here, take this shotgun. Cap that dude. Now I'm just gonna fall back here. That worked out fairly well, I guess. So we still got dude there. Alright. After a while, after failing miserably like 18 times, then I start to get serious, but usually when I start a level, I just try to rush it and go as quick as I can. Because there is also something incredibly satisfying about one-cycling any of these levels, especially when you've already beaten them and you know how fucking tough they can get. Let's get out of here, head back down to the car. There's a secret in this level, I might as well spoil it. If you grab this crowbar, there's a manhole cover over down here that you can open up and you get a mask. I believe it's actually that more gore mask that I was using earlier, the crocodile. But I already have it, so I'm not gonna do it. I think that was what, 5-6 chapters. I think that should be good enough for a long recording. So let's see what my score is here. I'll grab this stupid pizza for, again, entirely for its own sake, and that will be the end of this session. So I hope that turned out pretty well.